Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I want to reach out to all of you out there, see how all of you are doing, and I hope you were able to get out in nature somewhere. As far as me today, I haven't gotten out yet, but the day is not over yet. So anyway, I want to reach out to all of you, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And if you want to get in touch with me or find my YouTube channel, you can at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman. And that is how you will find me out there. And I have so many videos, and I got so much more coming. So hang on, we're going to take a ride. So anyway, I just want to reach out to all of you out there and make sure that you are, you know, being kind to yourself, and not just yourself, but your loved ones, your family, and don't forget your little kids, and your teenagers. Be kind to them. They go through a lot, and you cannot forget your animals, your furry little friends, and the not so furry friends. So please don't forget about your pets, especially at this time of year. And whoopsie. is Anyway, I want to reach out to all of you, and besides making sure you're getting out, getting some exercise, getting out with Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, and make sure you're eating good. And like in my area, today's only going to be like not, like maybe about 65, rain later on, if that even happens. You never know with the weather, people. Sometimes be like, oh, it's going to rain at a certain time, and then it doesn't. So anyway, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could share this video. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget the notification bell, and you can leave a message down below. And you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So, whoo, we got that done. And anyway, I do love all of you, and I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. I'm kind of like your mom here, always checking. Hey, are you getting enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? I hope so, because it's very important. Before you can help anybody else out, you've got to first take care of yourself. So anyway, this is a very special message, and this is all for the policemen, and we cannot forget the police women that are out there. So this is all especially for you. And, where would we be without the police officers, men or women? Because it's not just the guys out there. There are women out there. Yesterday in my area, I am in the New York, Albany area, and they just had like recruits of police officer men and women running through um, the street, just doing their jogging and stuff, doing their workout, and they did close the road off so they can come through, and here I was at a red light, and I was like, I wonder what's going on here. And there they were. They were running through and getting all trained, like to become police officers, or, men or women. So anyway, I am like long time ago, I have to say, when I started out, in my teenager years, when it comes to police officers, or, men or women, is Starlight was not such a good girl. So, and this is what happens sometimes. There's people that are not such a fan with police officers, men or women, because they're normally the ones that are up to no good, right? So when I was younger, Starlight was kind of up to no good, and as I matured and got older, I wasn't hiding from them anymore. I actually was looking up to them, and realizing, they do a lot in our community. And, imagine a world without the police officers. What would people do if we didn't have them, men or women, to help and protect us? They are a huge importance in our world, in our life with our families or friends or whoever. We do need the police officers, men and women. not only the police officers, also, I don't want to leave these people out because they're very, very important too. But today I really wanted to focus on the officers, men and women, is the firemen and the ambulance people, the men and women in those fields also. So this is for all of you, you know. I don't know how many times I've been in an ambulance, never had any fire issues in my life, but maybe you have, so they're very important, imagine if you, was going through something health-wise and you were stuck, you had no way of getting any help, or if your house was burning, and you couldn't call the firemen, so I have throughout my life have donated, like and supported all three, because they are very important. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because, like I said yesterday, when I did drive through, the Albany area, they were actually the ones that are, getting recruited to be police officers or police women, because I've seen both out there. I was like, hey, good, we do need you. You are very important in our community, so all of you, firemen and the ambulance men and women, all of you, I don't want to leave any of you out. Like there's some people that they volunteer, like to do this stuff, like the firemen, and I'm not sure how that goes with the ambulance people, so I have donated, throughout my life, helping, supporting those out there. And, like if you do know a police officer, man or woman, or an ambulance person, or a person that is volunteer to be a fire department person, a guy or girl, please let them know how much you appreciate them, because they do need to hear that. And I know some of you already do that. You might, I know that the officers at times, on holidays, they might get, cards, of thank you, or gifts, for thank you because they have done something that helps somebody else out, in their life, and I do got a question for you. Are they perfect? Are the police officers and women perfect? Are they? No, absolutely not. Are you perfect? No, absolutely not. So you're definitely gonna find, there's cases definitely, you see it all over on the news, and you can't believe everything on the news anyway, so I don't really watch the news anyway. But, you gotta think of how many times have you heard something bad about a police officer throughout your life? You do, you hear it. But does that mean that they all are that way? You know, um, it is a big, like it is a big, thing, like to be a police officer, guy, man or woman, and they get tempted just like anybody else does, and, to have that kind of power, the authority that they do have as a police officer or a woman, so, like you got to figure that, that you're not perfect, so why should we expect them to be perfect? Where there's people that do, they get a really bad name, that there's a lot of police officers, men or women, that have lost their jobs because they did something that was not right, and they did get punished for those things. They could have lost their job, or, like all kinds of different things, how they, handle that situation with them. But does that mean that they're all that way? No, not at all. And there are a lot of beautiful men and women that are police officers that really work their butts off, to try to help and so, to protect us, protect the children, protect the elderly people, protect the innocent people, protect people, women that are being raped, or men or boys, that are going through stuff, or with, who likes a parking ticket, or a speeding ticket has, I've gotten my speeding ticket before, but hey, that was my fault, the police officer that pulled me over was just doing his job, making sure everybody is safe. So don't get upset when you get a speeding ticket, or, I know I'm not a fan of parking tickets, and these days, and depending on where you are, sometimes it's not the police officer giving those tickets away, it's the parking person out there that's, responsible of giving those tickets. And, not that I agree to all those tickets, but, that we need to have some kind of law and order out there and to make things work, So this is the whole reason of this video is that, I have seen throughout my life where I've heard lots of people, like hate police officers and despise them and, call them all kinds of names. And, I have to say that I've learned throughout my life is that, they're the most paranoid people out there. Why is that? Well, hey, you got people that want to shoot them. There's people that want to kill and destroy police officers. They don't even care who you are, and maybe some police officers have done something wrong, and that's why they are out to, target the police officers. Or, maybe there's police officers that have done their job and they've done their duty, and they put people behind bars. And these people got upset and they wanted revenge, So I actually wanted to, last year of 2022, I wanted to, I felt called to actually go to the police department in my area, near the Albany area, and, to speak with them. But, things kind of backfired on Starlight, where that didn't happen. I ended up in the hospital like the day after, and so yeah, but it is kind of strange that it happens sometimes, like and hey, guess what? They were actually helping me out, I was going through some stuff, and not that everything worked out the way I was thinking it would work, but that's the whole thing is I got to forgive them, of even if they do fail and do something that wasn't correct or something like that, is not to hate them, because how is that going to help you out, if you hate them? Maybe they, did the wrong thing or something like that. And to understand that they are not perfect. You know, I am far away from being perfect, but I do love officers. I've loved officers for a long time. And I did come from the Gloversville, New York area and the Johnstown, New York area. So I had officers out there that were, you know what? I was going through a time when I was homeless, and I had especially the Gloversville officers out there at that time in that year, is that they were protecting me. They were keeping an eye on me, making sure I was safe. I was going through a hard time and I was homeless, and they did. They kept their eye out on me. Like they seen me one time. Like where this guy and me, we were actually. It looked like we were fighting, and so it was really cool is that the two officers, they didn't know what was going on, but they did. They pulled in the park and seen what was going on, a guy and me, and they knew the guy and they didn't really know me very well. These officers didn't. But, they pulled over and checked to see if everything was going okay. And they actually thought it was kind of funny because I was kicking this guy's butt. So, but it was really great that they did. They came by and checked anyway. And then there's times that I got locked out of my car right at the police station before in the Albany area. And they, you know what, they were so sweet. I appreciate the Albany police officers because I had a stressful day that day. I was cleaning and, my pocketbook got stolen out of my car. And so I did. I went to the police station for help to make a report on that pocketbook that was missing out of my car. My whole identity got stolen from me, everything. And, that I got so nervous about my car being locked up that I accidentally locked my keys in my car. And when I went into the police department, they were not, I don't want to call them names, but they were not jerks about this, They understood that I had a very stressful morning. And, I didn't have any money. My whole pocketbook got stolen. I couldn't get back in my car. I just got done with my cleaning job and I would have been heading home, I believe, on that day. And you know what? They actually were so sweet is that they called up a guy that they work with that tows cars and stuff. And they couldn't unlock the door for me, but they called this sweet man up And, it might have took like a half hour. They said it might be a wait, for me to wait. And I didn't care. Where was I going to go anyway? And, it was so sweet because this beautiful guy, came, with his truck, and he jimmied the door for me so I can get back in my vehicle and get back on my way because I already had a stressful morning. So, I really do. I thank you all, like the police officers and police women out there, for all the stuff that you do that people are not even aware of. I've witnessed a lot of great things, and I've witnessed some horrible things, or I've known some things, with police officers, like the both scales on this, and that's the whole thing is that, if you're a person out there that you hate cops and you despise them or you're jealous of them because, you know certain things about officers, men and women, but you got to understand how would you like to, be in their position, where they go to work and, the stress that they have to carry every day, and they got families, some of them do, and, it might be generation after generation of police officers, where they, like each family keeps on being a police officer, but we need these police officers, because in the future, what happens when we no longer have real men and women out there protecting us? Like it doesn't look good for our future, really, the way I see it, as far as police officers go. And that's why it's really good to reach out to the police officers in your area. Like I was going to do that last year, like in August of 2022, and just like I wanted to reach out to him. I wanted to help him out with something, and things did happen where I couldn't, wasn't able to reach out to him, and get my car broke down one day at around the same time that this was going to happen. So, this is my way of reaching out to them now is that, that we need to support the police officers, men and women, and, tell them, like say thank you, like, let them know how much you appreciate them because, like there's other states. I don't watch the news at all, but I did see the news a long time ago, where in other states, like, and I'm not sure what states these are, but wow, those police officers are a lot different than in my area, and maybe you might live in those areas where, those police officers don't mess around, and they got, they're all shielded up and all that stuff, and they could be militarily trained, like, and, go through special training, because the crimes in those areas are way worse than other areas, so, imagine a world, like, it is kind of weird that they do make movies out there, you got like, RoboCop and different things, and I don't even remember if I watched RoboCop or not. I've watched so many movies, but imagine a world that we don't have men and women anymore. We just have robots out there, doing their job. So we really do. We need to reach the ones that are out there now that are actually officers, and, they might fear their jobs one day being replaced by robots instead of actually having men and women doing, the work. Because, that's the way I see it, the way the future is going to end up being. I don't know when, they already have the stuff going on, is that you really do. You think, oh, that's just movies and this and that. Well, that's what you think, but everything is going fast and the technology and stuff like that. So, do you really want a robot going around and shooting and doing all that? What if they kind of lose their cool? What if a wire gets loose or something like that? What if the thing goes haywire? It's not going to be a cool thing if that happens, like, when we lose officers, the real human being ones. That's why it's so important to reach the ones out there in your community, like, and support them. They need love just like anybody else does, So, I do love all of you, and if you're, a person that maybe has a family member that is a police officer or a policewoman, like, I if you're the person out there that are, supporting police officers, and I do have to say, you do have to be careful because there are people that will call you up. I've had them, where I don't give money when somebody calls me up on the phone. I've had many phone calls like that, but there are different ways that you can actually donate money to them, to make sure the money goes to the right place. You don't want to, and the best way is to go to the police officer, like your police department, find out, hey, I would like to help out and donate money to you, and where's the best way to donate, because you got to be careful, and that's why the police officers are here. And yeah, you're going to find, just like in, race is a illusion, that we all are all one, that there's no one better, no matter what skin color. If you want to call it race or whatever you want to call it, we're all spirit beings having a human spirit, human experience, but if you want to say race and saying one color is better than the other, you're absolutely wrong, because they're, if you want to call it good and bad, which is not, you got to have the both. You got to have, like a balance. We're not supposed to be perfect, and there's a lot of people that claim that they are perfect, and they're not. They got some flaws. So not saying that you got to be wicked and go out and kill people and rape women and kidnap boys and little girls. No, absolutely not. And do you think that the police officers, men or women, agree with all the laws the way they are made? Absolutely not. I've known actually ones in my past police officers that they wanted to bust somebody. I've actually helped police officers when I was really young. My 16 years old, helped put a man in jail, and actually in prison, because he was doing a lot of horrible stuff with boys and girls and teenagers and doing drugs and kidnapping and you name it. And they wanted to arrest him. They wanted to do so many things to put him behind bars. But the law in a way, like was a certain way where they couldn't do anything. They had to, like have some solid proof. And I was actually really young at that time. Like I said, 16, maybe 16 and a half at that time, you know, um, and they did an investigation with me, finding out about different things, and then they found out, hey, this person, and I helped them actually, put this man behind bars because of the wicked stuff that he was doing. So there's times that the officers, they get stressed out because they want to do more, they want to help out more, but sometimes they cannot help out in areas that they would love to help out. They know people are guilty at certain things, but they just can't like take them and put them in prison or do whatever to them. They have certain rules and things that they got to go by. So it is not easy for them to be a police officer. And the reason, like I said earlier, is that they get paranoid. They got to always check behind their back, making sure that they are safe. Because, like if they put somebody in prison, like for life or something like that, they might have somebody on the outside that might try to, they might get paid to try to kill them or something, so they have to look behind their back, and anytime I go on the thruway, if I see police officers pulled on the side of the road trying to give somebody a ticket, I don't know what they're, like what they're supposed to do or not. But, I really, every time I see a police officer, a man or a woman on the side of the road giving a ticket away, I always, you're supposed to go in the other lane away from any of the cars on the side of the road. So please, like if you see anybody, whether it's a police officer or somebody that is stranded or parked on the side of the road, please don't just, like go right in that lane, right where the police officer is, or people that are, like stranded on the side of the road and maybe they got car troubles or maybe they got some kind of emergency that they had to pull over. Because I've seen many people not even look and open up their door, and somebody could be doing something, wrong, like in their car, like texting or talking on the phone, not paying attention. That's all it takes is that, there's been people that have been killed on the side of the road. So please watch out for the police officers or anybody else that's on the side of the road. Make sure that you're, like you're looking out for them, And I know there's people that do tip officers, like if they do know of anything, and continue to do that. I have made many, many, many calls in my life, thinking one thing or another was going on, just to make sure other people are safe. And hey, if you think something's going on, please call the officers up. And they're not perfect, so sometimes you might have one that might have an attitude or whatever. Is that you got to understand they're not perfect. You know, um, you might want to call in a different day. Maybe you'll get a different police officer that day or whatever. And just don't hate them. They're doing their job. So like I said, I've had people in my past, like first thing I moved in this area, I heard a lot, about the ones in my area near Albany is, like that they're really bad. They're always giving you tickets. But then, I go around and I see times that they're not given tickets. And I'm thinking, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. There's times that they can give us tickets for all kinds of stuff. So really, lighten up on the police officers. Do you always do a full stop every single time you go at a stop sign? I've gotten a ticket for that before by a new police officer woman. You know, um, so think of all the times that you got away with something when you were driving and you didn't get caught. So really, lighten up on the police officers. They really don't need that extra stress in their life. And put yourself in their place. Would you like it? Absolutely not. They're out there. They took that job. Do they make a lot of money? Absolutely not. I think it's a joke for what they make. I know other people that have other businesses out there and they make more. And they're not out there, getting shot at or, having to carry a gun with them. So we need to support the police officers. And anyway, I do love all of you, and I don't want to leave out the firemen and the ambulance people. We need all of you. All of you are very important, whether you're a guy or a girl. You're putting yourself, especially like the firemen, like I just had, last year where I live, and, like, I'm not going to say where I live, but, we just had a house that burnt right across the street where I live. I was actually coming home on my street, and I couldn't believe it. The house right next door to right across the street was already, like half burnt. The smoke was all over the street. That house doesn't even exist on the street anymore. The firemen came and they took care of the problem. You know, Imagine if they weren't around, especially with cars around, that could blow up a car and blow up other houses and stuff like that. So really, and the ambulance people, thank you, all of you. Thank you, police officers. Thank you, the firemen, for putting yourself at risk. I like putting fires out myself, I'm really good about that. Not exactly the way you guys do it, so, we need firemen and the ambulance people. I don't even remember how many times I've been picked up by the ambulance people, which I did last year, in August, I had the police officers and, the ambulance right on my street. It was a crazy wild thing going on here, and hey, they had to bring me to the hospital for whatever reason. And, so I appreciate, and, when they took me for a ride, you know, um, to the ambulance. I have to say, there's another time when I had COVID. I didn't know if it was something to do with my water, and I really didn't know that COVID was going to hit me that hard, and I had to call 911, and the ambulance people came here to pick me up, and, they were the sweetest. They really were. They took really good care of Starlight, you know. They weren't even afraid of catching COVID from me. They didn't even wear their mask. I had my mask on. I really didn't know like how bad this COVID thing was going to get. But they were so sweet, the men and women there. So I thank you, for helping Starlight out. I thought I was dying in here, really. It was really horrible being by yourself and not having anybody to call and saying, hey, I need help. Nobody lives near me to help me out. So I appreciate all of you. You all have a great, importance to all of us, so please, everybody, if you do know an officer, a fireman, man, woman, ambulance people, please let them know, say, hey, thank you they didn't have to do that job. They didn't have to, like, hey, I want to, carry a gun and, there's a big chance that somebody might want to shoot me, I really, like would have loved to have been a police officer myself, like to put people and, the ones that are going around hurting people, but hey, that's not my role here, so we need those men and women out there, and I love all of you. And I know this is not your everyday video from Starlight, but it's something very important that we all really need to wake up to. And, like to respect those police officers. And remember, you're not perfect, neither are they. They have flaws just like you do, right? So don't be so hard when you get that ticket on your car and say, hey, don't they have anything better to do? Yeah, you're right. They do. They have a lot of better things to do. But that's a part of their jobs in some areas, to give out tickets. You know, um, hey, if you got a speeding ticket, slow down. That's what I did. I did get a speeding ticket. I didn't go there and try to get it cheaper. I said, yeah, I was guilty. I'm going to make sure I pay for the full thing. And yeah, it was like $200 for a speeding ticket. Do you think I really liked paying $200 for a speeding ticket? But you know what? I learned a very valuable lesson. Because in a way, the universe didn't want Starlight driving that speed anyway. Do you think God was pleased with me driving that kind of speed on the road? Yeah, not at all. So we do need to slow down. Think of other people. Don't, like on the road, there's families out there, young teenagers that are just starting out on the road. Slow down, in the wintertime, slow down. I don't know how many times I've had like, mainly men that are in four-wheel drive pickup trucks that, could almost run me over. Slow down. What are you in a rush? Because it's not just about you, it's about the other people on the road as well. You might not care about your life, but you ought to care about somebody else, because what if something does happen and then, they end up dying and you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. And then you would say, that speeding ticket wasn't such a bad thing, right? Yeah, because really that speeding ticket could have saved your butt, even drinking and driving. If you're drinking and driving, please think about, you're not caring about yourself, obviously. Think about the other people that are on the street. Go get some help, instead of, drinking and driving. I've seen so many people do that in my lifetime, and, you don't need to do that. Stop going to the bar. I don't even know why they even have bars in the first place, really. And, if you're not supposed to drink and drive, why even have a bar? I never understood that. So stay at home, like, don't go anywhere, or go get some help and completely stop drinking, go get some help and love yourself, instead of taking that risk out there. And I love all of you. And if you are out there and if you have drank before and you have done, like any of these things, and if you quit alcohol, thank you. If you've learned your lesson, thank you. We all thank you, because you're keeping a lot of kids safe out there. There could be a family out there with little kids out on the road, and, we thank you for, like if you gave up alcohol and you're not going out to the bar and drinking and driving, because, the police officers are going to pull you over. And these days, you're going to get caught. So I do love all of you. This is, they're here to keep us safe, you know. So I do love all of you. You can give this video a thumbs up, and you could share this video. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can ring the notification bell, and you can leave a message down below. Plus, you can get a hold of me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I do love all of you, and you, and you, and you. Thank you all. If any police officers, men or women, firemen, men or women, or ambulance people, men or women. This is Starlight. Thank you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. So anyway, I do love all of you, and this is Starlight, love and light,